So last video I mentioned that you should pick an editor and you should stick with it, and what you should learn should be something that is on all platforms. Now I mentioned Emacs, I mentioned Vim. However, some of you don't want to learn Vim or don't want to learn Emacs. You have fallen in love with code, and code does work on all platforms. Now, I've attempted to install code on Ciceda, but so far I've been unsuccessful. But now I started Ciceda here, and you can see in this terminal, we can go to the maze, and of course if I make this, it'll run the Verilog, but it will not be able to plot the maze because it doesn't have a GUI. So if I jump over to Ciceda, and here I've just started a VNC connection, and let me make this, let's see, bigger, so it's possible to read. I'll do the same thing here. Now we're running an X server, and we're able to get the window up. However, as I said, some of you don't want to try and change this stuff with change text files with Emacs or whatever. You want to use code, and that is possible. So let me close this down. If I can. Oh, interesting. So let's see what happens here. It's a bit slow. Anyway, let me go back here. Code. So code has pretty good support for Docker. So if you go to extensions, and what I've installed now, let's see, I've installed the Docker, and there was one other one, and that is the Docker remote containers. Now with those two, when you're running a Docker container, as we are now, you should be able to press here and go into containers, and then you should see Ciceda. And here you can actually start, I don't know what this button does, but it seems to install some sort of server connection on the Docker, which allows you to access the folders directly. So I think we can close down this one maybe. Yeah. And let's make this bigger. So I guess we can try and make the zoom. What's that? Oh, that's that one. Isn't there something here also to make it... yeah, there we go. Yeah, that works. Okay, so Windows button, or in my on my Mac, it's probably the Mac button, and plus makes it bigger. And now you can see all the files that we have on Ciceda, and then you can, for example, open the maze, and I can go into the makefile, and then you can of course install your extensions that you want, both for Verilog and for the makefiles. And for some of you, this might be a better way of working, since you have fallen in love with code and are not sort of like me, stuck in good old Emacs. Don't get me wrong, code is really good, but my hands have memorized the shortcuts in Emacs, so I'm stuck. Anyway, let's now change the size of the maze. So if we go to here again, we can just rerun this for fun. You will see that it generates a 31 by 31 maze, and then it plots the path that the maze escaper has taken. So let me close this down and just show you that it actually works. Now this is pulling in a lot of resources, seems like. Okay. So let's just change this something lower. Let's do 11. This needs to be an odd number, otherwise the ends of the maze won't be walls. And let's see, save in code is probably, yeah, Mac S. Let's try again, see if it worked. Yeah, now we can see this number has changed to 11, and we're now running a much smaller maze. So that could be a good way for you to edit text files if you want to use code. And then you can still use Ciceda to get the waveforms and whatever you need in the system. Have fun.